Hi everyone, my name is Virginia Duan, also known as Mandarin Mama, and you can read my writing on my site at mandarinmama.com. I'll be talking about another 5-minute writing tip today, and we've already previously done who, what, where, and when, and now we're at the why. So, the why is twofold, I think. One, why should your audience care about what you're writing? Is it an issue? Is it a social issue? Is it something affecting society and therefore also affects them? Is it a health thing? Why do they want? Why should they care about what you're writing? Okay, why should they care about the story you're telling them? Why should they care about this product you're talking about? So usually it involves pain. Whys usually involve pain for your audience, or just some, like, not always pain, but in certain cases of your product. Let's say you're writing about your product, or you're writing a corporate blog. Why should they care about your company? Does your company solve a problem? Is your company especially good at something? Is your company, coming up with something innovative or new? Is your company really involved in the community? And if so, if you're involved in the community, why are you involved in the community? And why does your involvement in the community affect your audience? So if it's a local audience, it makes sense it would affect them. Like if you're building a new thing in the area, new thing, but like a new building, does it affect traffic? Or is it going to, make it more convenient for them, for your audience, or all these whys, okay? If you're writing about widgets, why is your widget important? Why should your audience, so depending on your audience, right? Like, let's say your audience is general public. Why should they look for products with your widget in it? Or why should they go out of their way to make sure that your widget is in the products that they want or are looking for, or why is your widget better than all the other widgets out there that are similar to your widget? I keep saying widget. Otherwise, if you're telling a story, why is the story important? Like if you're reporting, so for instance, when I wrote about being in the parade, why is the parade important? Why is it important to me? Why is it important to the audience? Why is it important to the general public? Why is it important that Comcast was involved? Why is it important that there were Asian Americans on the float? Why? Why? All these different types of whys. You don't have to answer all of them, but the important thing is to find enough compelling whys for your audience to continue reading. Okay, so that's the why should your audience continue reading. And then it's a very similar thing. They're related. And usually the why should your audience continue reading is related to the second why, which is why are you writing this story? What reason are you telling the story? So with the Comcast Parades example, my why was I was hired to do it. But two, I think it's interesting, and I think it's important to highlight Asian Americans and to highlight companies that are partnering with Asian Americans, because I think that's something that I find interesting and I think is important and is a big issue. And then therefore, I think that's why my audience should care about it. Otherwise, like, why do I talk about Chinese? Or why do I talk about teaching my kids Chinese? One, I think I have something interesting to say. But the real why isn't like, why are we teaching our kids Chinese in general? Because you can get that anywhere. But why am I teaching my kids Chinese? So the reason why I'm teaching my kids Chinese is, multiple reasons, but a lot of it stems from rage and identity. So those are my whys. Why, and that's what that's the backbone of my stories, of how I tell teaching kids about Chinese, or like the difficulties one encounters. So those are the whys. Otherwise, I want, like when I write personal narrative pieces, why am I writing these pieces? a lot of times it's to process my thoughts, or I think I have an interesting thought to share, or I want people to feel not alone. So there's lots of different whys. And so if you can tap into your whys about why you are writing this piece, and sometimes it's totally legitimate to say, like, the main why for this piece is because you're getting paid for it. But the why behind the paying is you want to provide for your family. You want to have a place to live. You want to, eat. You want your kids to have nice things. So there's whys behind the whys, right? So yeah. And that's, I think I'm over my time limit, but the whys are important. So answer, if you can, it's better to answer, some notice is coming. It's better to answer both the whys, like why should your audience care and why are you writing it in the piece if it's appropriate. So I'm at 6 minutes now. So 6-minute writing tip for the day. Again, my name is Virginia Duan and I write at mandarinmama.com. And thank you so much for listening.